Hello, this is Lisa Rusczyk.
And Donna Murphy.
And Shauna Angel Blue.
Who is she so pretty voice and the manager with the podcast We're All Psychic. And you know what,
Yes.
Shauna? We have a question for you right away. And it is.
Yes, we do.
I got to answer.
We're all psychic.
And I got to answer. So did ask me that question again?
It is. Do you think we're all psychic?
No is the answer.
No.
Really?
The
Yes.
answer is fair.
And I've been thinking about this for a while because I feel everybody has the ability to be psychic, that it's a part of our makeup. However, I've spent 30 plus years honing my psychic abilities. Like I am psychic, where, you know, for I feel like to be psychic, you need to.
You're like as a label, as a name of someone who does something. It's psychic.
Yep.
You have to earn that kind of and like get there.
Yep.
And then like the trait itself, psychic, everybody has, but they don't use it and become a psychic is kind of what you're saying.
It's like a seed that they're not watering.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The seed is still there, but without the
intuition
proper
is still there.
nurture.
They're not paying attention. They're not paying. A lot of people say that on our podcast. They're not paying attention.
They're not practicing it either. I mean, it's a skill that you have to practice and become confident in, secure in, and trust.
Experience.
Trusting, yes.
And that's the hard part is trusting, because when you don't have any experience, but that's how you get the experience. It's kind of like how you get a job for the first time. You have to have job experience, but you have to, or a credit card or whatever, You have credit to get a credit card. The manager doesn't like this conversation. She's like, let's not talk about money.
We got to talk about money.
So Shauna,
because money is energy. Yeah, money is energy.
Listeners and watchers, this is a video on Spotify and YouTube, and Donna and Shauna know each other. Would y'all like to talk about how y'all met?
We met at a tarot conference in New York City.
Yes, we did.
I don't know how many years ago.
I can't remember how long ago it was.
8 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, somewhere like that. Yeah.
Before COVID, a couple years before COVID.
Yes.
And I think we went twice.
Yes. Where we both happened to be there at this.
Yeah. And Donna lives about 45 minutes north of me. I'm right downtown Chicago, and she's in a northern suburb. Okay. And so we've hung out. I had another membership, Alchemy and You, that Donna was a part of. Yes. So I got to know her really well. I know her Pisces nature.
Yes. I love her Pisces nature.
Yeah. Right.
And we've done.
Yeah, go ahead.
You did 2 series of Suba Kriyas.
Oh, yeah.
And we did those together.
Oh, yeah.
And we did a couple of New Year vision boarding.
Oh, yes,
and visioning.
Yes.
So we've worked together and then, of course, readings. So we've worked together in several different ways over the years.
Yeah, I get readings from Donna because I really trust Donna.
Yeah, I do too. I trust her.
Utterly.
I mean, not ultimately, but utterly. So Shauna, you did say you are a psychic as because you worked on it and you're there. So what started it for you? What made you get interested in pursuing this?
Excuse me. Let's see. 35 years ago, I'm 68 now, so I was in my 30s, and I was
You both look so young. Jeez.
I was at a bottom in my life with drugs and alcohol, but it was like a really dark time in my life. And somebody said, "Oh, Shauna, you should go get this reading from my sister, Mary Beth." And I went and got the reading, and she's doing the cards. She's slipping the cards over, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're so lonely. You're so alone. You're so alone. Oh, phew, here, there's finally somebody." And then when I went home and thought about it after the reading, I'm like, why was she so upset that I was so alone? Like, I knew I was alone. And so that opened up a little door inside of me. And I just started getting more readings from Mary Beth, and the way she read was really fascinating. She did the mythic deck, Donna, the old style mythic deck. I really, really I love Greek mythology.
Yeah.
And so as I started getting more readings from her, I started to learn from her by observing and just started, baby started. Right. And then also at the same time, probably about a year later, I was at another turning point, and somebody said, "Oh, Shauna, you should go talk to this ascension coach. Oh, Shauna, you should go talk to Karen Mitchell, this Reiki person." And I got my first Reiki session, and I've never been the same since.
A lot of people say that about Reiki.
Yeah, it blew my socks off. And I was in this sister circle, and there was 5 of us, and Mary Beth could read cards, Deb could read cards, the other people could do things. Like, what's my psychic ability? I said, this is my prayer. This is my prayer. What's my psychic ability? And I got a note like 2 weeks later that, because Mary Beth was interested in doing Reiki, so I wanted to bring her to a Reiki share that I was going to go to. I wasn't involved with Reiki. I was photographing for Karen Mitchell, who was doing a book. And so I said, Mary Beth, just come with me and see what you think about the people. And so she came and she talked about how the Sister Circle, we were all pitching in $25 for her to take this $125 class. We thought it was so much money then, right? We all pitched in. And so she came to the class. And she talked about how we were doing that. And that 2 weeks later, I got a note from Karen Mitchell saying that somebody had paid for me and Mary Beth both to take the course.
Wow.
Right? And I knew that was the answer to that. What's my psychic ability, right? That was the universe answering. And, Mary Beth never took the class either.
Oh, wow.
She never took it. And Karen Mitchell told me to, I needed to really think about it because my life would change. My energy would change. I didn't have a job. Wasn't in a relationship. Like I needed to change. And so I went on this trip to Florida and I put out all my credit cards because I was living off of credit cards at the time. And it got revealed to me on that trip at the Mission de Hombre in St. Augustine. It's where the first Catholic Mass was held. And I'm a Virgin Mary girl. And that's a longer story. But when I went to that Mission de Hombre, there was a man sitting there on a bench in front of a St. Francis statue. And he said he had been waiting for me. And that I was God's little girl and that I could go into the chapel and ask the Virgin Mary for anything I wanted. And I had been writing in my journal, what I'd wanted. And so I knew I had got blessed, right? And so when I went back to Chicago, I got initiated into Reiki level 1. And for me, my intuition is always linked with that transformational Reiki, and I've been practicing that 33 years. Sobriety came in at that time too, which I feel being clean and sober is really important in intuitive psychic skills, because I honestly don't want to be, unless you're paying me for it, channeling or working with demons, getting rid of them.
Yeah.
It's because it's work, it's work. And so personally, because I feel like God is everything. And so I want to align myself with the light part of God, so I can see the other parts too, in part of my working with others, which I think has been a long way of saying how I got involved, in the kind of work that I do. And that, I just feel like my intuition is my survival skill also. Yes. So the more I develop that, the better I am also.
So how would you find that your intuition was a survival tool for you? How does that have worked out? I feel like there's some stories there from you.
Well, I feel because of how I was raised, because of the traumas and stuff, which I'm not going to list them, but that it opens up this door and taught me how to survive through that. But when you mix in drugs and alcohol with it, it just takes you down this wrong path or this harder path or this darker path, right? Which can lead to transformation and healing and a door opening, or it kills you. One of the two,
really?
Right?
It's the truth.
Right? Yeah, no, it's the truth. It really is the truth, because
it really, really is. It can be a slow death. It can be a fast death, depending on one's constitution, right?
And the thing is, it isn't a question. To me, it's not a moral thing. It's not an issue of character. Right. It is, there's, I kind of think of most everything being on a continuum. Mm-hmm. And where does the medicine become poison? Right?
Yep.
So a lot of times with drugs and alcohol, especially because often people are trying to heal something.
Yep.
But it's poison.
Yep.
And so it's not a question of, again, it's not a moral failing or a character failing.
That's when it's abused.
It's like you're trying to heal something, but it's like you're trying to heal something with something that is actually not healing you. It's poisoning you. Mm-hmm. And maybe in small quantities and at certain times and in certain ways, it actually can be medicine. I'm not going to say I've never enjoyed a glass of wine and
in the 30s when we had prohibition, they did prescribe alcohol. It was considered a medication.
Yeah, I still don't buy. I don't buy that in a way because
they were still moonshining everywhere.
What did you say, Lisa?
They were moonshining everywhere. So
yes,
you mean as having a healing effect? I don't know either. I don't either. I think it can help people like channel, like you said. It can bring out that side of people, the channeling and the mediumship, maybe understanding it more, opening up to it. But it can bring in some bad stuff if you don't know what you're doing.
Even if you know what you're doing, it's going to bring in bad stuff. Everything has a spirit to it, either light or dark. And drugs and alcohol are not light. It's not like, like with Reiki or intuition, like that's pure energy.
I just kind of see them as gray, and how they're used is what makes them black or white. I just see.
I don't know. I don't even like that word abuse either with it, because it's all choice. It's all a soul's choice of how you're going to live this life. And that, yes, it can be a chemical thing that happens in your body. It could be part of your DNA, part of your lineage, but that's still all part of the healing that happens when you're breaking patterns, when you're showing up sober, when you're living life on that higher plane. Like that's why the intuition becomes so important, because you're going to hear clear messages.
And they're not going to necessarily be.
I don't agree. I've been able to read and drink, but not over excessively. If I were drunk, I'm not going to read for somebody for money. I'm not going to read for someone for money if I'm drunk or high or anything like that. But I just don't see. I found them medicinal. I mean, my food has drugs in it. I don't agree with that statement that all of them are black and white. Is what I'm saying. I think it's the way they're used that makes them that way. If somebody decides to, like turn off their reality and do some kind of whatever way they do it, that's an addiction. If they just do it over and over and over and over again and don't live their life, no matter what it is. It could be a codependent relationship. It could be a habit of washing your feet every 5 minutes or hands or something. It's like an addictive thing with avoiding, to what you were saying, getting
ultimately, whatever it is that's driving it. Yes, I do ultimately believe, because I believe in the ascendancy of personal choice. So I do believe that ultimately everything's a choice, even when we think we're not choosing. On some level, we actually are. For me, this is it's an individual thing.
It's an interesting debate. Yeah,
I would rather take full responsibility for my decisions, what's going in my body, versus blaming it or giving it away to anything or anybody else, so that I can empower myself with, I'll say, sobriety.
Yeah. And the road from being really addicted or submerged in chemicals or any kind of addiction or problem, like if it's a problem, it's like, that is, like you said in the beginning, it's a huge healing process. You either die or you heal. It's huge.
Yeah. Huge. And it's a free will universe. So everybody gets a choice of how they're going to do that. And I don't drink or do drugs because I don't want to channel those demons.
Yeah.
Because alcohol and drugs have they have demons. Period. Even if it's just a little bit, it's a little bit of demon. Then, and this is for me, Lisa. This is just
I'm listening.
And this is how, and this is why I don't look my age. This is why I look healthier, because I haven't been doing drugs or alcohol for 35 years.
Yeah.
The body keeps the score. The body knows everything.
That you're doing, right, that you're doing or not doing, as far as what kind of self-care are you doing, and what kind of a healing journey have you been on? Because I think everybody, to some extent, is in a healing process. For some people, that may be some very, let's call them, and I don't like to put a value judgment on it. For some people, that may be a much heavier burden than it is for others. Some people are dealing with a lot more wounding or a lot more trauma. But my feeling is kind of everybody's got something, because I don't think anybody that I know of who's been born into a physical human incarnation has been without some damaging experience or some traumatic experience. And again, I don't want to put a value judgment on it, because everybody's journey is personal. It's not mine's worse than yours. This person's is worse than their, I'm not trying to do that. We each have our own, though. And so we do get choices about how we want to move forward in this body, in this life.
Which I want to go
what
back
we
to
want to heal.
I want to go back to the original question of, is everybody intuitive, right? Because honestly, I feel like everybody has that skill, and that it's a pure skill that you're born with. And so if you're putting all these other layers on of things because of pain, because of whatever you don't want to look at, you don't want to deal with, or you want to be relaxed, you want to be like it dampens the intuition.
It quiets it. It kind of dulls everything down.
Again, then it channels it through another way, right? And so it's the free will universe. It just becomes about choice, honestly. And so for me, as the healer, intuitive, whatever else of the title, like I have 5 planets in Virgo. I want to be of maximum service to people, right? And so I want to be a clear channel because, and I can get on my soapbox about how I think things are going, and how I want more love here. I want more divine love. I want the power of love to heal the demons, because that's what the demons just need, is some love, love and acceptance. And I
always kind of think of Virgo too as sort of the health sign. I mean, if I had like a shorthand for every sign, one of them for Virgo for me would be this whole idea.
Mine's perfection. Mine's like
health.
Perfection, a name for perfection of themselves. And, and then taking it out into the world and showing them how it's done. Perfection. Whatever. They don't think that there is a thing as perfection, but they want to make themselves the best they can. And health is a big part of that,
Yes.
And they take themselves out, and they're showing. They don't say, "Look at me, to do it my way." They just show.
Because honestly, Lisa, at that time in my life, I was super alone. Like super alone. I had so much guilt and shame going on. I literally got picked up out of it, because it's not like I drank a lot. I smoked pot and I drank wine. Those were the main things. And people think, oh, that's not that big a deal. But
for
because
you, it was, so you're saying.
Yeah, for me it was, because I'm so sensitive. And now with the Reiki, I'm a 5th level transformational Reiki master. I've been attuned 5 times. So every time my energy is squared. So I got super big energy. And so when I'm not in alignment, because it happens, it can be a real shitstorm.
Yeah, me too.
And who wants to work with a shitstorm?
Right. And then you can't be of service to someone else when you're out of alignment, and your own energy needs adjustment.
Yeah. And I feel like that goes back to the whole thing about the intuition and like listening. That's what the intuition really is. Listening to what you're saying to yourself, with yourself. Because my other thing is, I feel like that God is the body. It's not outside, that my body knows everything first.
I agree.
And will tell me first. So am I listening to what it's telling me?
Right.
You know.
It's kind of hard sometimes for me. I have a lot of health issues, so I'm always listening. And I have interoception. You probably do too, all of you, both of you. Because if you're really sensitive and you work with energy, eventually you're going to feel everything in your body moving and doing stuff. Like interoception is just like, I feel my self-digesting right now, and it's going through this part of my intestines, or like I can feel this part of my brain stinging.
Well, what sign are you, Lisa?
Stuff like that. You feel like in your body, things doing things, my blood pumping through my veins, stuff like that. If you focus in, if you have interoception anyway, but I think you can get it from working with energy a lot and focusing on your body and working with Reiki, especially. You just get to know what your body's doing and where, and it can be energetic or physically,
What sign are you, Lisa?
My sun is Taurus, and my moon is Capricorn, and my ascendant is Cancer.
Yeah. So no fucking way are we going to convince her of anything, Donna.
Capricorn moon is not doesn't like to be convinced. Taurus doesn't. Taurus likes to see a good argument, not Capricorn moon. Cancer just wants everybody to get along. The Capricorn and
I was thinking more the Taurus sun.
Never forget the Cancers are a cardinal sign, and they are not necessarily all that movable.
We're not movable. I'm not movable.
They may be very changeable when the moon changes, really, but they are not very movable.
No, I was very easy to push around because my Mars is in Pisces and my Venus is in Gemini. I'm so easy, especially in relationships, pushed around, any kind of relationships. not just romantic. Friendships, family, everybody just pushed me around until about 5-6 years ago, and I stopped letting them. So I'm kind of I'm in my asshole phase kind of still, you know.
Good.
It's been good for me, but it's been hard. I've been going through a lot of loneliness and stuff like that sometimes.
Yep.
And isolation.
Yep.
I'm realizing where I put my blinders on was everywhere. You know?
Yeah.
Just so I didn't have to, so I could avoid conflict, you know, and that's not good. It's not always conflict. Most of the time it will be, but not. And in my case, being like, let me give you an example of what I mean. Like people project onto me a lot who I am, and they tell me that, and they say, I will say something and they'll say, so what you mean is, and say something totally didn't say. The AI even does this
like,
to
no,
me.
that's
And they're
not
like,
what
I didn't
meant.
see you going there. Yeah, maybe that's why. But to me, it's really obvious where I'm going or what I'm saying. I'm saying exactly what I mean. And a lot of people will project something on there saying like, I meant this, I meant that, you know, no, what I'm saying is what I mean, you know, and I would just let them say that. And now I will correct them and correct them and correct them and correct them. Because some people do it to let you know, I'm going to control you and tell you what you're thinking. And some people just do it to have a conversation, you know, like, where are you going with this? You know, so it's really different. I have to figure out what they're doing and then how I'm going to respond, you know, whereas when I was younger, I would just like, okay, that's who I am to you.
If you say so. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't like straighten them out, even if they were telling me like I was like a family member a few years ago said some things to me that were absolutely not true about myself. And I argued with this family member, and now we're not family members. Let's just put it that way. Because they never said that to me. And it was really horrible stuff they said to me. And, you know, when I was younger, I would have just said, oh, they're probably right.
Well, individuation is the greatest thing you can do, and it does not feel good.
It doesn't feel good. It's hard.
It's difficult. And I think it's difficult for everybody. It's just we have different areas that are vulnerable points or are
and when you get older,
I think everybody,
you're not going to regret that you did that.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure.
That's true.
That's true. That is absolutely true.
You're not. I mean, I look back fondly on those times, Lisa, of when I was alone, when I was lonely, and I learned how to turn it into solitude because
I love being alone. It was just that like I've been spending 2 years of just isolation, and it's just
I'm going to finish that sentence. I'm sorry.
Oh, I always interrupt. Sorry.
That's okay. I'm going to finish it. In that place of solitude is where you develop the conscious contact with the spirit as you understand it, in the body, which develops that intuition. Like I need to have alone time to hear myself, to be with myself, so that when, like how you said, when these people are saying whatever, you know how to respond to, because you know who you are, because you spent time with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, and Venus and Gemini, you love to talk. You love to flirt.
I used to like to flirt more. Now I don't like to flirt too much.
Well, you gotta refine it then, Lisa, because flirting is one of your superpowers.
I like talking. Well, it's not good for me to flirt because people take it the wrong way, and then I'm behind a bar getting pushed against the wall, so I don't flirt too much.
That's why I said it has to be refined. Refinement. And I think that's what happens as you get older too. Like there is a refinement of who you are. And I just heard something too recently, with Marion Woodman saying that as a crone, you learn to just cut away. What isn't serving you? What is no longer there for you? What you no longer need to accept, because you start loving yourself more than anybody.
Yeah.
Even when you're married,
like it when you love yourself, it seems like they don't like you when you love yourself. People I know. People I have experienced said, because I've had such a pattern in my whole life of people who project onto me and me accepting what they project and not clarifying it, that they're wrong, and walking away from those situations where they insist that I am that way. And some of them are family, and I can't do anything about that other than walk away and have no family. So that's what I've done in some instances, and it sucked because I really haven't had any long-term people in my life except my family, because I moved around a lot when I was younger. And then I've always kind of moved around, I've traveled a lot of different places and stuff.
I don't speak to 95% of my family.
Yeah. It's been hard because it's recent for me. This is
what about you, Donna?
Well, my immediate family is actually all gone. My immediate family has all passed. But I would say that those relationships had resolved pretty reasonably for the most part by the time that occurred. My extended family, I would say we are close, but we're close the way extended family is close. We're there for each other. We celebrate things with each other. We also grieve together when there's a loss. I mean, I've got a celebration of life coming up on Saturday for a family member that we lost earlier this year. But we're not so always with each other that we have the opportunity for much in the way of conflict. I mean, for me, conflict tends to come from a lot of friction. The friction comes from a lot of contact.
Yeah,
I mean, to me, to have friction, you have to have contact. And because we're not in such close, regular contact, that eliminates a great deal of the friction.
Well, that's cool. Plus,
so I'm in pretty good. I would say I feel like I'm in pretty good standing with them, and vice versa. So,
and that's the difference between Pisces and Virgo. And Taurus. Like we need things grounded. We need things in reality. Visceral, comfortable, loving.
Yes.
Supportive, right? And that Capricorn moon, all that earth, right? Like,
it's I have a water trine reality. Too, so it's kind of weird in my chart. So it's like I got earth and water. I don't have much air or fire, I don't think.
But that's good. That's good, Lisa, because earth is the container for all those emotions and the water and everything, right?
Yeah.
And, that's the thing. If people don't cry, they're not going to be healthy.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I love crying.
Right.
I gotta cry. Right. Yeah. I gotta cry it out. Get it out. Get it out, listeners.
Yeah. I mean, our bodies were made to cry. It's part of our I feel bad for animals system.
That they don't have tear ducts and they can't, sometimes he'll be, I swear this is what he's doing. I don't know if it's really what he's doing, but he'll be making biscuits on my belly or something. And he's just so in love, giving me love eyes. And then he'll start snotting. And I think that's him crying. He's so happy. It's coming out his nose though, because he doesn't have tear ducts. It's just, I just like to think that. I don't know if that's really what's happening. Oh, here he comes. He hears me talking about him. Oh, he stopped. He's so cute. Oh, gosh. Well, so Shauna, what do you do with yourself? What kind of work do you do? So what do you offer services for?
Okay, well, so right now I'm at a fresh start, I'm calling it, and I am developing a membership system. I'm doing a new membership, Donna, and this one is based upon the planet Venus and how it moves through the houses. And that's what the book was based on. The book is in three. Yeah,
yes,
the book is in three.
Watch her. She's writing a book and she just finished the first draft.
Yeah, the book is in 3 parts. It's first Venus overall going through the signs, and I attached each Venus sign to a story about Aphrodite Venus, a mythic story about that.
Love it.
Yeah, and then the second part is the individual, if you have Venus and Gemini, the qualities, and it's much more detailed. And then the third part is about manifesting with Venus. And like aphrodisiacs, ambrosia, making an Aphrodite girdle. I can't remember the other things right now. Those are the 3 things that are popping in. Yeah. So I'm building a membership based on that, a monthly membership. And then, of course, I do private readings, mediumship, and transformational Reiki. Those are the 3 services that I have. And I'm an artist. I'm a grandmother, mother, wife.
And you're beautiful.
and I'm beautiful. Thank you, Lisa.
and where can listeners find your beautiful self?
I have a website, shaunaofthestar.com, and then Venus in Love is the new one that's getting developed. And so if you wanted to buy quite like a couple years ago, I wrote a PDF for each Venus sign, and you can purchase that on the Venus in Love because the book's going to probably be a while before it still comes out. Right. It's got to go through its process, but that you can purchase that there. Okay. End of sentence.
That's cool,
period.
Man. That's awesome. It's on your website. They can buy parts of it that are going to be in the
Venus
book.
in Love. Yes.
Venus in Love.
And there's a way to find out. Yeah. There's a way to find out what your Venus is. Like, for example, my Venus is in Pisces. Oh, that's what you're saying on the website.
Lisa just mentioned that
she's Venus and Gemini. So you can actually find that. And we'll make sure that in the show description that all of your links, anything that you want how you want people to be able to find you. All of that will make sure. I mean, we love when people watch the show, and we love when people watch the show more than once, but sometimes they're like, wait a minute, she said her website. When did she say that? And then they're trying to search through the episode. So we'll make sure that everybody has a very easy way to find you where you want to be found.
There's a birth calculator on the homepage. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know, and you don't have to know astrology, but what I'm experiencing is that I feel like Venus is really the most important planet, because that's the most important thing, is love and money. And that's what it rules. Yeah. And we are in relationship with everyone. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so and money is value, love is value, like it's all together. So like following that through, instead, like most people follow the sun or the moon, right, Donna? Or Mercury. Mercury is another one I would follow. Yeah. But so I've started to incorporate that Venus, because it's just time. Like love is the most important thing right now.
Well, those are the generators.
I'm a romantic.
I mean, to me, those are the generators. Yeah. I mean, I know there's all the different things that the planets are I'll say, kind of responsible for. To me, that
one, I relate to my Mars more than any of my Pisces and Mars and Pisces than I do any of my stuff. Other than my Capricorn moon, I do relate to that. But I've gotten through the worst of it, I think. But I do relate. When I was telling Donna this when we first started talking about our astrology a long time ago. Like I would read when I was younger, I would read Pisces astrology because I fit my life better. So for me, like the Mars is really the actions that are happening or I'm taking in my life too. So that one's a real important one for me when I'm looking into my astrology. Sometimes I'm kind of like I'm on like the lifelong quest to figure out astrology. I haven't gotten there yet, but I can read a chart now, a birth chart, kind of. I feel like I could read a birth chart well enough to get paid for it right now. Yeah, but I couldn't.
It's a whole. I could
language. Predict some things, but not really well.
Yeah, it's a language for sure.
It is a language. Yeah, it is a language.
Yeah, the language I've gotten comfortable with. It's all the nuances and details, and I haven't seen a lot of charts. I think people who've seen tons and tons of charts get a lot of experience. Like, oh, I've seen this before, and that person was like this, and they had this happen to them. But it's all in there. It's like really fast. I think that's cool. But also right now, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app and website where you can get advice from psychics and empaths. So
didn't we both work on that, Donna?
We do.
And I still do. And Lisa still does.
We work on Everclear. I am under the name Lisa Rusczyk as an advisor.
Oh, nice.
And I am also now under the name Donna Murphy as an advisor.
Nice.
So, and Shauna, I don't know if you're still on.
I'm not still on it because I get so nervous waiting for that phone to ring.
I do too.
I hear you. Yes, I hear you.
I had to just start doing stuff like it was really hard, but it helps me to do stuff around the house when I'm waiting for the call.
Okay.
Do something. If I sit there and do nothing, I just get so nervous and scared when the chat.
It's like the phone.
I can't type. I have no idea how to word right now.
Yes.
And I'll start shaking and sweating when the phone rings and stuff like that. Still happens to me still, but not all the time. And so if I'm busy with my hands, or if I'm looking at my iPad watching or mixing a podcast, sometimes I'll mix podcasts. And I try to keep my mind off being worried. Doesn't always work though. Honestly, it doesn't.
Yeah. I know, it just got to be too stressful.
That's the thing. Like people, I think there's an impression people have of psychic readers as being kind of like blunt and tough, but we're really softies and we're like fragile and like we like to cry. We do like to cry. We do it because it feels good.
Yeah.
Feel bad and then get it out.
Well, you're inspiring me to reconsider that, because it was a good
Everclear is
wonderful.
Everclear
it's a really wonderful platform.
And they don't box you in on hours if you have, they don't make you work a specific, they let you run your business is what they do.
Right.
Yes. That's what I love about that. One of the many things I love about the company. But it's for you, everclear.com, and you scroll down to the advisor career thing, I think, and then you can click through if you haven't already applied. So were you already on Everclear at one point?
Yes.
Oh, unless you walked out, then you're probably still on there.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll find out.
I'll go back and look
and find out before I publish this. And if you are, I'll put your info in there.
All right.
You're doing it. So last, we like to ask for some advice, and I'm thinking I would love some advice for people who are listening to this podcast. And maybe they're walking through that door of getting away from something that's really hard for them, and owning themselves, getting to know themselves, getting to know their psychic side. Maybe they're going to go down that road and they're thinking about it. Maybe I'm going to become a psychic professionally. What would your advice be to that person? How would they know if that's something they want to do? Because not everyone knows. Some people do, some people don't. I didn't know. I did a lot of other things.
Again, it's a decision. Like when I said, what's my psychic ability? That was a prayer, right? That was me like having that desire to do that and then following through on that. And so that comes back to listening to yourself and then how the universe responded. The universe responded with that note from Karen Mitchell. Like I took that class, and I feel like, and if you're interested in it, if you just even, I say this with Reiki too, if you just heal yourself, that's enough. Which here's another thing. I've just put together a course on how to read your own tarot.
Oh, I love that. I love that because that's obviously something that people
how not to psych yourself out.
Yeah.
Well, and how to read it without, how to read it really clearly without wishful thinking.
That's great. Or without doom thinking, he hates me.
Yes.
Two of Cups, he hates me. The Lover, he doesn't like me at all.
Well, there's
who's next to the King of Swords reversed? He's lying.
There's 3 pillars to it, and one is the card a day. Like working with a card a day.
Yeah.
So that helps.
I used to do that. That does help.
Yeah, helps. Yeah, right. Another is there's a yes or no way that if you got a yes or no question, how to do the cards a certain way so you get a yes or no answer, which I really love. I used to do that in my 30s, like, does this boy like me? Kind of thing, right?
Yes or no. Yes or no.
And then the third one is a way that I developed of how you can give yourself a really neutral reading, honest reading by doing the reading in a mirror.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's wonderful.
So cool.
That's awesome.
It's really cool. Really, really cool.
Oh my God, I'm doing that. Yeah. I might do it in a video and watch it again too. Like, it's not the same thing as a mirror.
Because when you're honest with, it doesn't lie. Because when you're honest with yourself and really look at yourself, because a lot of times it's really hard to look at yourself. So that's why you get another reading to get to confirmation, to get the value. Even when we say something people don't want to hear.
Look at yourself and get it metaphysically, look at yourself spiritually, look at all those things. It's a great idea, man.
I love that.
I've never heard of that before. I just love it. That's the best advice I think I've heard on this podcast.
Yes.
So that is I call it Tarot Unveiled.
Okay, I love it. Yeah, we'll put that information. If you have that available now, we'll put the information. You guys can sign up for that. I might be in there.
Yeah.
And Donna, don't you have one last question for Shauna? I think you might have one last question.
I also asked this. We also asked this of all of our guests for our listeners and watchers. Do you love our listeners and watchers?
Do I love them? Yes, with all my heart.
All my
heart. All my heart. Yes, because they want what we have. They want, and this is such a great skill to be intuitive, to follow and listen to your intuition. It's the greatest gift. Yeah, it's the greatest gift you can give to yourself.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Right? Too. And they all want that, and that's why they're here.
Yeah.
Or they have it, and they're just like saying,
and they have
it right.
Yeah.
They got it right. No, they just want to hear everybody because they think it's fun, maybe, and funny. We're ridiculous over here.
Some of the time, that's true. But
thank you so much, Shauna. Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome.
And thank you so much listeners and watchers.
Yeah, thank you for being with us. Thank you for sharing. I hope we'll have you on again as a guest sometime soon. Listeners and watchers, we'll make sure you know how to find Shauna wherever she wants to be found. And thank you all for listening and for being here with us. Shauna, love you.
Bye, listeners. Peace out.